Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is basic information processing. It's not a very long one. You just need to understand how we notice things, what happens, how we make our decisions, and then how that works. So it's a very simple PowerPoint. This shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes. Okay, here it is. Like I said, it's about how we make decisions. This involves gathering data from the display, senses, prioritizing them, making the most important to make a suitable decision. The way I think about this is, if any of you have ever gone to football games, rugby games, sometimes the fans are trying to put off that player, maybe tennis, golf, something like that. And that player, if they're good enough, will only focus, prioritize on their particular thing that they're involved in. So they talk about kind of getting in the zone, ignoring it. If someone shouts your name, you have to ignore it just to focus in. So it's all about how we do that. Okay, so this is a simple model. You need to just draw it out, and then you can probably label it as I talk about it. So pause it now and draw this, please. Reasonably big on the page, maybe half page. Okay, so input. This is where you're taking information from around you. At any point right now, if you wanted to, you could be thinking about what's the smell in your room, what's what you're looking at. You might be able to hear some noises from downstairs. You could focus on something else. Maybe there's some music in your room, the lights, a cat, whatever it is. You could choose all of these things to focus on, but from all your senses. But hopefully you choose what's most important, which is hopefully me right now. So you're homing in on my voice, what I'm saying, maybe your book, your pen, but nothing else. The way we look at this in sport is obviously you need to be focusing on the prime part of that sport. So the example we've got here is the tennis ball. If you're playing a game of tennis and you're not paying attention to where the tennis ball is going, you're not going to be doing very well. So in anything sport related, you have to make sure you pay attention. And maybe in your sport, football, rugby, maybe you've been told off by a coach, whoever it is, because you haven't been concentrating, and maybe you got distracted by something, and then something, the team take a quick free kick or something like that, and you're not ready. So we have to selectively attend to the things that are most important. Once we've chosen that, what sense it's going to be, be surprised how much you use hearing in like table tennis and racket sports. A different noise means different things, how hard they've hit it, and so forth. But you've chosen to selectively attend to whichever it is the most important, most relevant. Then once you've looked at that and you've gone, right, the ball's going there, it's got this amount of spin on it, it sounds like it's moving fast, you have to think of the appropriate response. So your body, your brain is telling your body to move, to do this. It's going to be a backhand, a forehand. In football, you're going to have to do this. And you're doing these all of the time. They happen really, really fast. That cycle that you've drawn is happening all the time. Okay, so you choose an appropriate response, the movement skill from memory. Perhaps it's something you used before. So it might be in tennis, let's say again, they're doing a long serve. And you know that when somebody does a long serve, the best thing to do is to go down the line or to play a short shot or to lob. So you know which skill you might do, so you're going to perform that. Just quickly about short-term and long-term memory. Anything, if I was to give you a list of 10 words quickly to remember now, you would remember them for about 30 seconds in your short-term memory. If you don't repeat them and you haven't written them down and learnt them somewhere, they disappear. Okay, so anytime someone gives you a list, something that happens, you won't remember it for more than 30 seconds. That's just the way the brain is. If you remember over and over again and you keep repeating that list of 10 words, it may enter your long-term memory and you go from there. So it's just making sure you understand that within our decision making, there's short-term memory where if something's happened in the last 30 seconds, I did that 20 seconds ago, that worked, you could do that. Otherwise, you're referring back to your long-term memory, previous games, things that you remember, to get your decision making. Okay, then you've got your output. So did it work, or not did it work? That'd be the feedback. The output is just that it happens. Your body does whatever it is that you've asked it to do. It runs over there. It plays the backhand. It plays the lob. It does whatever. Okay, so that's the output after you've thought about it. The decision, everything goes through. The final bit and most important is this idea of feedback. And the next PowerPoint after this, we go into a bit more detail. But you will get feedback as to whether it was good or bad in its most basic sense. So intrinsic is from ourselves, okay, and extrinsic is whether it was successful or not. the feedback received may affect how we do it the next. Okay, so if it feels right when you've hit a lovely tennis shot, some of you might have played it, it feels fantastic as it hits the perfect part of the strings, or in football when you really ping a ball and it sounds brilliant and feels brilliant off your foot, as opposed to when you get it wrong, you really know intrinsically straight away when you kick it whether it's good or bad. And that happens, maybe in rugby and kicking, I think of quite a lot. You see a lot of kickers that will kick the ball and they'll know straight away whether it's going over or not. They'll know if they got it really wrong, and you can see because they've got their intrinsic feedback. Now, if we didn't have the intrinsic feedback, they would look for the extrinsic feedback, which would be, has the crowd cheered? Have your teammates told you it was brilliant? Did you get the 3 points? Has it hit the goal? So the intrinsic, how it feels for us; extrinsic, whether actually it went correctly, whether it was the right action, whether we won the point in tennis, table tennis. And there it is, just to make sure. So you just need to understand the input, things that come at you. You decide what's important. Are the balls going over there? You make the decision based on your past feedback, whether it was good, whether it was bad. You actually perform the skill, and then you're going to get the feedback as to whether it was a good skill, bad skill, what went right, what went wrong, and then the whole loop continues for the next process. Okay, that's it. We'll talk about it in class. Thank you.